faith, belief in action. Randy Ollis is finding people who are guided by their faith from all religions, denominations, and walks of life, and sharing their stories with you. From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is Finding Faith.
Welcome to the Finding Faith Podcast. I'm Randy Ollis, and on this episode, Amber Hankins and I talked to Kokonaing, Miss Indiana Teen USA 2022. She's going to tell us about her journey in faith as she is preparing to represent Indiana in the national competition of Miss Teen USA.
Her name is Kokonaing, and she is the 2022 Miss Indiana Teen USA.
Yeah, and I tell you, she's a history maker, having been crowned the first ever Burmese-American to win state Teen USA title.
Cool.
At the core of who she is worship and also her faith.
Yeah.
That's your core, isn't it?
Super important.
It is so important.
First of all, congratulations. Let's start there.
Thank you.
I was mentioning to you earlier, your family has to be so proud of this honor, but of course you being the very first as well. That's amazing.
It is, and I think the hope was that I wouldn't be the last, and so I'm so happy that I was the first, and that with it my family really supported me in my journey.
Yeah.
And it's been incredible to see how far just pageantry has led me.
Right. And then of course, Randy, spreading a message along the way.
Your faith, that's a big part of your life here, and you want to go into worship ministry.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Explain that.
So I think at the core, I just love serving people, and so naturally, since I love music too, worship ministry has just been my favorite. I got involved when I was a freshman in high school, and so it's been the past 4 years, and then recently as a senior I was able to do an internship at my local church. And so I think I've just really grown not only in ministry but in my heart for service, and it's just helped me in everything that I do, just strengthening my faith. Yes.
Is this something that's been instilled in you perhaps by your family or your community years ago, since you were very young?
I think music, just the love of music, was ingrained in me. My dad, he's a musician. He plays acoustic guitar and electric, and so growing up in the church and just seeing people worship, I went to a Burmese church, and so I don't speak Burmese very well, and so just being able to see everyone sing, and I could sing in Burmese, but I can't really understand it. But that was the communication, horizontally and vertically. So I was really just blessed to be a part of that and have that be a part of my upbringing.
So interesting.
Why is your faith so important to you?
I think for me, especially in pageantry, it grounds me. Just in life, I think as a teenager growing up, it's really hard nowadays.
Especially at your age.
Yeah, in this era, it's just, social media and everything, it's so easy to compare yourself. But at the end of the day, if you know that you're loved and you're created with a purpose, I think that grounds me enough to know that whatever I do doesn't define me, but I have a God that loves me, and that's enough.
I love this so much because in the world of pageantry, and you can probably attest to this, is oftentimes it is skewed a little bit, as in just, looks and bathing suit and this and that, but you do have such a personality but such a purpose, and there's such a meaningful character and really the core values of who you are. I would imagine that you perhaps get that from other little girls, because little girls look up to girls in pageants, to queens, so much. And I would imagine that that's a big part of why you do what you do as well.
Yeah, of course. When I was younger, I always looked up to the title holders.
Yeah.
I always thought, wow, I want to be like that when I grow up. And so this year, just really thinking through what I want as a title holder is to have that connection with young girls. And so my faith is a big part of that. I think that's, if there's one thing I can impart with people, it would be that.
Well, it's a positive role model, and I think that's what so many young girls, and boys, really need in today's day and age.
Yeah, and you just seem so anchored. I know you're anchored in that faith and a personal relationship with Christ, and that goes a long ways here, because that's who you identify with. You don't have to live up to anything else. You just be who you are in Him. So
it's always out an audience of one. Whenever I compete, I think there's just so many reasons I could compete for, but at the end, the title is not the goal.
Right.
That's not the success. The success is being who God's called you to be and serving others through that. And so the title is just a platform.
It is.
But it's a wonderful platform.
No greater feeling than thinking, at the end of the day, I made him proud.
Yeah, she's only in her teens. So I think God has a special plan for her.
I think so too.
Really
Congratulations again, and we thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you
it was
so
a
much.
pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, KK.
Right.
We appreciate it. We really do.
I'm Randy Ollis. Thanks for joining me in the Finding Faith podcast. Join me again next time as I share more stories of people who are guided by their faith. If this podcast has touched you, I hope you'll share it with a friend. If you have a story you want to share, go to lifestylelive.tv and click on the contact button.
This is Finding Faith with Randy Ollis. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, and be sure to check out other great podcasts on the All Indiana Podcast Network online at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.